Well, you need to know.
It's just someone out to bring 30 quid.
I know all the time.
Everything coming
Well, this year, you'll have to move from the bottom down to another right.
Hold on, I've got to get them in there.
You could just, you know, sit there or maybe sit there and have your tea.
Take another one. I'll do one here as well.
5 minutes.
I'll do one as well.
This must be the most
Well,
photograph.
man, I don't
You
It
want one?
could be the lack of some more visitors than members. One else provided.
Next question.
Thank you. Welcome.
Just
Thank you very
hold
much.
it. There you
You
go.
can keep that family going.
In a rush to get away, I was able to bring in.
No, don't worry
I will
about
mail.
that. No, it's, don't worry about that. This way as well? As long as you don't lose it going through customs.
There you go. Just stay on the wall. My head over there through the fence. Oh, you spotted it again. Hang on.
Where's Wally?
Hang on, just wait. There you go, everything that boy, isn't it?
We're taking far too many photographs to take it seriously.
That's fine.
No problem. Notes you made another sign.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's the food coming. Right.
Good evening, everybody. So thanks for receiving me today. So I hope my English is very well understood by everybody. It's not my mother language. So just to explain in so a few words, I am from Madagascar. I live in France for 40 years now. I'm 60 years this year, so I look older than I am. No, I have 50.
Thank you very much.
I have 3 daughters, grown-ups, so they work all of them already, so they live in Paris. So since last year, I'm a member of E-Club Rotary, so in Indian Ocean District 9220. And it is composed of people coming from all over the world. So for instance, I live in Paris. There are 3 people from Madagascar, 4 from Mauritius, 2 from La Réunion, 1 from London, 1 from Washington, and 1 in Africa. So we are made of about 20 people. The special thing is that we don't have meeting physically held in a location. Our meeting is held on a video conference. So that is very convenient for some people, for me especially, because I travel a lot, I move a lot. Since I am retired last year, so I travel all the time. And that is very convenient to attend the meeting every Wednesday evening. But so Mauritius time, and so it's not very easy for people living in Washington. But fortunately, so there are no people leaving in so Asia because it will be a nightmare to attend the meeting at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that is very. So this e-club is quite new, so quite recent. So it exists since 2012. This is our third year. So this is my first experience in Rotary Club because I'm a member of this. So this is my first club. I had a friend so who pushed me to be part of this club. So I thought a lot about this. So before joining them, so after 3 months, I was convinced that this was the right way to do things in life, and so to help people who are in big trouble and help them to improve their life. As you know, so we are operating mainly so in Madagascar and the Indian Ocean because this is a region very poor region, and you can imagine the average salary in Madagascar, for instance, is it's 30 pounds a month. And you can imagine that so for 500 pounds, for instance, you can make a lot. For a lot of people, not for only for one, but for we have a lot of projects in our portfolio. So we are moving to a new president this year as well. You have Harry Law from yeah, she asked me to say hello to you, all of you. And that's it. I am traveling a lot. So after Glasgow, I'll go to Senegal, Dakar, and I go to Germany afterwards, and I go to Madagascar in 2 months' time. I will stay there. I go to Madagascar every 3 months, and so I have my time because I'm retired since last year. So I'm doing my best to because I have already in my relatives. I have a lot of people who need help, and you can imagine Madagascar is very poor, and we need to help people. And you know, so even if you help just some people, that is already a little bit happiness amongst those people, and your payback is their smile, and so that is very motivating indeed. So that's it, and so I hope we have closer collaboration so in the future, because I come here every 6 months roughly. I have relatives here, so I'm here till Friday next week. So this time is a little bit longer for me to stay here. Usually I stay here 4 or 5 days maximum. That's it. So happy to be here anyway, and yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. Larry, do you want to say a few words about Colorado? I mean, we're going from one extreme to the other. Would you like to say?
I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Golden, Colorado. Golden is a suburb of Denver. We live in a semi-arid climate, so this is quite different for me. I'm actually enjoying it because last week we were in the 90-degree Fahrenheit. Our club was chartered in April of 1986. I've been club secretary since 1989, and they're having the turnover dinner this evening, but I'm not there for it, but I'm going to be secretary another year. We have...
You should have turned up, you might have got rid of the job.
We have 55 members. We have just formed a satellite club to attract younger people because our club meets at 7:15 on Tuesday mornings, and it's difficult for a lot of people to work that into their schedule. So the satellite club will be meeting at the times that they vote upon. We do 2 major fundraisers a year. One is a peach sale. We bring 2 semi-trailer loads of peaches from the western side of Colorado into Denver, and we sell those. And then we also have an annual golf tournament in the spring. We try to do we have a foreign exchange student every year, and we try to do several international projects each year. The one that we're working on at the moment is a latrine project in Nicaragua, and that's pretty much us. I'm a certified public accountant, I have a tax practice, and so I work a lot during the winter months because our tax deadline is April 15th, and I try to make up for it by working less the rest of the year.
Right.
You declare that to the tax man.
And I'm in Glasgow because my wife has a conference for a week. She manages a laboratory at the University of Colorado Cancer Center using lasers and computers to analyze cells, and they're having their international conference here this year. And so I'm tagging along, and I sneak into her room at night.
Right. Is there anything else, anything that's in use?
Start the food island, is it?
No.
Another
yet.
chat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got just, I suppose it's probably useful for me to continue the international theme, because we've been contacted by Greg and Kathleen Boswell, who are both Rotarians from mid-Missouri, where they recently dedicated a large set of bronze sculptures to celebrate the cattle drives and the cowboys driving cattle through Texas. So there is actually a website for that, thetrailsend.org, and the two of them will be in Glasgow from the 16th to the 25th of July, so have asked if they might come along and attend our meeting and even, if possible, say a few words about these statues and this Trails End thing that they're involved in. So, which I think explains, for those of you who have received it, George's email just asking would people be happy if we actually had our meetings in the first half of July and then took the second half of July off as our summer holidays. Then that way we could accommodate them on the 16th of July if they're still able to come. Contacting them has been a bit awkward. They're in Belarus at the moment on the first half of their holiday. But if everyone's in agreement, I think I'm quite happy to go back to them and say yes, we'd be delighted to have them visit the club on the 16th. Is that the Thursday? It is, yeah. On the 16th of July, where they could tell us a little bit about this Trails End thing that they're involved in the sculptures. So we've been all over the place, you know, Denver, Missouri, France, Madagascar, Belarus, yeah. I'm going to England next week, so just hope my head, yes. Just hope I don't get a nosebleed. That was it, Richard. Thank you, President Richard.
Right, okay. Anyone else? Sunday,
Yes.
John,
Continuing our international journey, we're going to talk about Nepal, just to say that Aquabox have acknowledged receipt of money and Fink will be going in that direction very soon.
Thank you.
President Richard, can I bring wishes from my own President, Agnes, in Glasgow North and Bishop Briggs, handovers next Monday, and also from the members of Glasgow North and Bishop Briggs. And just a wee quick explanation, I just happened to be passing the door of the Hilton this morning, trying to park my car, and the concierge, Larry said to the concierge, "Is there a Rotary club I can go to?" as I walked through the door. And the concierge turned around and said, "Ask him." So thanks, Larry.
And you said no, but we could always go to Eastwood.
Right. When I was elected president of Eastwood Rotary Club, which was last July, I was more than a little worried about my impending presidential year, for I'd only been a Rotarian for 5 years, and thought perhaps somebody else with more experience of Rotary than I had at that time could probably have done a better job than I could have done. And maybe some of you still think that as the year progressed. My worries then turned to fear When in attending the district assembly last year, I heard the year's theme being described as Right Up Rotary. I thought, how on earth is our club going to fulfil that theme? Luckily, I had heard wrong. And as you all know, the theme for this year had been Light Up Rotary. So, okay. The aims laid down by Gary C.K. Hume, President of Rotary International 2014-15, was to light up Rotary by sharing our service, strengthening our clubs, and letting the light of Rotary shine on our local communities. We were to approach membership in a new way and try out new ideas. Hold a Rotary Day in order to give the local community a chance to learn more about Rotary. And we were also to continue the fight against polio worldwide. I'm proud to say that I believe our club fulfilled this Rotary theme and achieved these aims successfully. We as a club can be very proud of the achievements made during this year, especially since this year was an unsettling period for the club. This Rotary year for our club has been one of 3 different periods. The Carn Booth House Hotel months, followed by the White Craigs Golf Club period, and now the William Wood Golf Club period. In July last year, we were all meeting at the Carn Booth House Hotel out near Castlemilk. This was a good venue, but an increasingly pricey one, and where I spent more time in the hotel corridor chasing up food and coffee than actually being in the meeting. I even one day had to tell a wedding party to cut out the noise next door as we're having a meeting. And that certainly surprised them as much as it did surprise me. However, during the months of July, August and September, we were joined by a new member, Neil, who will shortly be our treasurer, and he gave his job talk. We had the primary school quiz and the secondary school's golf competition, with OLM, Our Lady of Missions, winning the quiz and St Ninian's High School winning the golf. We also had some sporting success as a club in the Fellowship Trophy against Boswell and Uddingston Rotary Club in the £10 bowling. We also raised £400 at a backpack in Morrison's in September, so I believe this was a good start to our year. But then on 2nd of October, the club decided to move from the Carn Booth House Hotel, and we took up residence in White Craigs Golf Club. A welcome venue, and I'm sure that the rest of the club will join with me in thanking Ronnie Munn for being able to assist our club with that relocation. This proved a successful move, and I believe we had the best guest speaker of the year, and maybe for many years, in Graham McFarlane of Bonham Auctioneers. He gave a greatly entertaining and informative talk on the 23rd of October. This was also the month of the district conference held at Tullyallen Police College, and our club was well represented. All the better as our club member John Waddell was this year's district governor. A job well done, John, and I look forward to hearing your talk at the handover lunch on Sunday. This was my first visit to a Rotary district conference, and as the theme gladly for me was education, I found all the seminars very interesting and very informative. The social side of the event I also found to be a very intoxicating experience.
Yes, I remember that.
The month of November then was a difficult one for me personally, as my girlfriend had been seriously assaulted in Manchester, and so I became involved with that incident and missed a couple of meetings. But the club continued as successfully as ever in my absence. The club attended the Clarkston Christmas Fair, which was a great success, and it was a great event, and I'm sure we'll probably be involved again next year. And if those of you who've got access to the Facebook, you'll see some really good photographs on there. So I'd like to thank everyone who got involved with that. It was really a good event. Also in November, Ronnie celebrated his birthday. And I threw a tizzy fit at the club council meeting on my birthday. So I must say, for translation, I just had a bit of a carry on. But I must say, that for one great benefit of this club is that we feel able and willing to discuss all aspects of the club and indeed Rotary for the ultimate success and well-being of our club. It's this openness that makes this club so successful. This point of openness, in actual fact, had been remarked upon by a number of guests. One lady from Glasgow Rotary Club said that she thoroughly enjoyed the fact that we moved round the table and discussed all sorts of issues and whatnot. So she quite liked that, and as I say, we've had a number of guests who enjoyed their visits here, and I hope that is due to our openness. In December then, we had our magazine night, and that was a great night. I certainly enjoyed it, and we raised a whopping £500. So thanks again for everyone who was involved with that event. The Christmas vacation then brought to an end our period at Whitecraze Golf Club, and we embarked on our next relocation to our present home here at Williamwood Golf Club, and that was on the 8th of January. Once again, I'd like to thank Alistair Denham for assisting with this move here, and also Margaret. I know you had conversations with the Secretary as well. So on many occasions, I have to say, Rotary clubs and indeed in society in general are advised to concentrate on youth, and yet I find it's the older and wiser members of Rotary and indeed also in society that keep clubs and organisations going, literally. If it hadn't been, I think, for Ronnie and for Alistair's help throughout the year in getting us relocated, it could have been quite an interesting and difficult year. So, as I say, thanks very much again for that. So I'd like to take also the opportunity to thank all our long-serving members in this club for all their advice and support given to me and also given to the other members in the club. Our move to Williamwood Golf Club, I believe, has been a success, and I'm sure that the two clubs will find our relocation here mutually beneficial in the future. In January the 22nd, our club hosted the Young Musicians Competition at Eastwood High School, and this proved a great success as well, and also a very enjoyable evening of music. Our competitor Marcy George from Mearns Castle High School and our parents were very complimentary about our Rotary Club and our involvement in Marcy's singing career. So I know that we'll be hearing her singing at the club again in the near future. And at this point, I'd like to thank Rob for his work and effort he's put in running the youth events, and also Peter Daniels for his work with the schools quiz and music events. In February, we had the Burns Night in the Eglinton Arms Hotel in Eagleson. Again, this was a very successful evening for all those who attended, and I'd like to take at this point a big thank you to Anne Maguire for bringing along a large contingent of guests, and that helped our evening go and be a success. In March, our competitor Marcy George was robbed, I believe, in the Young Musicians Competition, regional competition, but she returned to our club in April, accompanied by her parents to sing for us yet again. Also then in April, the club held a new event, Walk for Eastwood. This was a joint event with our local charity East Renfrewshire Good Causes. And although some of us were worried about the success of this event at the beginning, we were proved wrong, and the event was a success and raised £3,436. So I'm sure this event will be repeated in future. In this month, we also had a new member, Orest, who was inducted into the club on the 30th of April. I'm sure he will be a great asset to the club, certainly if you want to know more about clean rooms. May and June were a busy couple of months for our club. In May, we had the collection for Nepal at Silverburn Shopping Centre, which raised over £3,400. And this was an incredible achievement due to the late notification to the club of the event. And once again, I want to note a big thank you to Ian Barr for the incredibly good organisation that you gave for this event at such short notice. I also want to thank Barhead Rotary Club for their assistance at the event, and also the other Rotary clubs that turned up. In a similar way, I would like to thank Ronnie for managing to make this year's golf Am competition at Whitecraze Golf Club also a roaring success, raising an amazing £4,500. Then in June, we had our primary schools quiz, which was won by Carolside, and the secondary schools golf competition here at Williamwood, won by St Ninians. Alistair has just been talking about that one earlier. But I'd also obviously like to say thanks again for Alistair, Frank and John for all those who got involved running that event. So in conclusion, as a club, we have fulfilled the remit set to us by Gary C. Hume, the President of Rotary International. We have shared our service through working with other Rotary clubs in events like the Collection for Nepal and East Renfrewshire Good Causes and the Walk for Eastwood. We've strengthened our club by finally relocating to a venue which I'm sure will become our permanent home, and one which has the facilities to enable our club to grow and prosper. Although I know our club is prosperous, as we've raised around £15,000 this year, and we have a surplus of £500, which I know will be spent in the coming Rotary year and put to good use. We have already welcomed another new member in August this year, and therefore I'm also confident that Rotary-minded people will be joining our club in the future. As for our open day, we had a problem with that one right enough, and we had to rearrange this event for later in the year. This was done at the wish of the golf club, but our invitation to them to attend the event earlier was greatly appreciated by the golf club secretary here. And I'm sure, therefore, if we hold the event in autumn, it will be a success. While we've also managed to light up Rotary within our local communities through all the events that I've previously mentioned. I know I may have missed out some information, but we do have a very good club website, and thanks to Steve Malloy for maintaining this media. The website has a very good archive situation, so if you wish to read more about our achievements this year, please use this valuable resource. At this point, I have to say that our light in the club dimmed a bit this year, with the passing of members and past presidents, John Gordon and John Mercer, as well as others close to us. We remember them at this time and their contribution to the club and to the life of those members who are in the club. So it has been an absolute privilege to serve this club as your president, and although I'm a teacher, I can safely say that I've been taught many invaluable lessons this Rotary year from a great club of Rotarians, and I am really grateful for this experience, which I will cherish for years to come. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of those who accepted my mistakes with good grace, and to all the office bearers of this year who certainly put service before self and were a credit to Rotary, to our club, and also to themselves. As a relatively new Rotarian, some of you older members may not consider this to have been a successful year when compared perhaps to earlier years. So to you, I can only say, in the words of W.C. Fields, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Then quit. No use being a damn fool about it. So I now quit and vacate the office of President and hand over this regalia to our incoming President, Margaret Macdonald. I wish her every success for the new Rotary year. You want to stick it? I'll not give you suggestions.
Manager.
I think we're sitting on a dead weight on this side.
Are we going to go around this way?
Okay.
Can you have that?
Richard, I have the honour of giving you your past president's badge
Oh, right.
and
Thank you.
your link to put, well,
Oh, you'll be-
Good luck and thanks for being here.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Do you want to use this?
Probably. Told me up. Right, good evening one and all.
Oh.
Hello. As you may or may not know, the Rotary theme for 2015-16 is Be a Gift to the World. I must admit, the first time I heard this, I stopped short for a few minutes. And when I realised, and looking around the table at us all, I realised that with our fundraising events, school events, etc., we are indeed contributing to our new Rotary theme. And by judging by what we have in the pipeline, this is set to continue. Thanks to Richard for having, where's he gone?
I haven't done a run again.
Thanks to Richard, at least we're starting our meetings very probably now at 6:30 on the dot. My suggestion for next year is that our council meetings will be held monthly as usual, and I would like, in time for our council meeting, a short report from each of our committee members so that we can discuss it at the council meeting and then put any ideas forward to the business meeting in the next week. Now, I appreciate this probably sounds a bit onerous, but we've really got to get back on track of holding committee meetings. So once a month, I expect you all to head up your meetings and report back. Oh yes, you will. Now, school athletics, there's going to be a school athletics meeting, and we held it in February, and we will be supporting this event. Also, Rotary Day, I've been told, is on the 23rd of February, and it's going to be a dressing down day in schools. So naturally, we want all our schools to take part. It means, as soon as possible, to make visits to schools, try and get it organised. I appreciate it's the holidays, but we can all help out in this one. We can't leave it all to Rob and Ian to go to schools. We'll all help in some way or another.
Oh, thank God for that.
I'd like to have all our events, our suggestions, and I'd like them listed. I know it sounds very, I don't know what's the right word for it, but I'd like a good plan.
Organised.
Thank you. Organised, so by then, perhaps by the end of December, January, we know we have a programme and we know exactly when, where and how things are going to take place. I know it's going to mean a lot of work for the committees, but I think we can do it. We can all help one another, surely. So, that was the school ones. I feel also perhaps with some of the charities, and we'd like you perhaps to support a lot more of the charities perhaps locally as well, and try and make our presence announced, known. I know that Steve has had tremendous trouble trying to get into Eastwood Extra and get announcements. I don't know how we get around that one. Let's
Oh, we
both
just keep
go.
sending them stories, Margaret, and just hope.
Just keep going?
Mhm.
Okay. We want the money, if possible, to be used locally, and we'll try and get our name out and then try to encourage new members. I cannot stress enough how important it is to get new members. So we're going down the visioning route, and the next step is a 3 to 5 year planning process, which will set us on the right course. I'm glad to say we're going to have a busy and fulfilling year with us all working together. We want everybody to be able to talk to one another, come and give ideas. If you have got some ideas, have some grounding behind it so we can carry on and carry forth. That is really all I want to say, but I just want you all behind me if possible, and I'm quite sure you will. Thank you.
Well, Richard,